Hola, Mocosas. I'm so excited for you guys to listen to today's episode, but before we start, I do want to mention that there were some sensitive topics that we talked about, one being domestic violence. If you or anyone you know have ever been victims of abuse, please know that there are countless of resources online, one of the main ones being thehotline.org, or you can also dial 1-800-799-SAFE. That is 1-800-799-7233. They will guide you with whatever you need, whether that's you being the affected one, or if you don't know how to help a friend, they will provide you with tons of information on how to help others. Thank you so much for being here, Mocosas, and I hope y'all enjoy today's episode. Mocosas, bienvenidas al podcast en el que hablamos chismes, tramos familiares y hasta de tus primas y tías, bitch. Yo soy su host, Alex Brayan, y esto es Mocosas Anónimas. ¿Pueden creerlo que esta va a ser la última vez que voy a decir esto en la primera temporada de Mocosas Anónimas? Porque como pueden ver en el título del video, este es el season finale de la primera temporada de Mocosas Anónimas. Estoy que no me la creo, Mocosas. No saben lo agradecido que estoy de todo el amor y el apoyo que le dieron a este proyecto. I know that I have not been as consistent as I wish I was, but as many of you know, I do have a full-time job outside of all of this. You know, this is just something that I love doing. I love making content for you guys. I love making you laugh. Pues no siempre tengo tiempo para hacerles contenido en YouTube, pero sí les hago contenido seguido en TikTok, así que si no me siguen en TikTok, vayan y síganme, que allá es donde estoy más activo que en cualquier otro lado. Pero en serio, Mocosas, no saben cuánto les agradezco. Estoy súper feliz, súper emocionado que hayan recibido este proyecto con tanto amor. Pero sí, desgraciadamente, este es el último episodio de la primera temporada, pero no se preocupen porque yo regreso con una segunda temporada, por supuesto que sí. Ya tengo varias entrevistas planeadas para el futuro y no saben lo que les espera. Les vamos a tener más chismes, más tramos familiares, más entrevistas, más historias de terror, más anécdotas, lo que ustedes quieran, Mocosas. Tenemos muchísimas cosas planeadas para la segunda temporada. Estos últimos 2 meses han sido un poco really crazy, bitch, porque we moved to a new house, pues entonces estábamos lidiando con todo eso de que la mudanza y todo. Entonces yo hubiese querido haber subido este último episodio mucho antes. El episodio que están a punto de ver lo grabé hace como un mes, bitch. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it took me this long to like edit and finally get it out, but it's out. So I really hope that you guys love and enjoy this last episode of season 1. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. This is the end of the season. Pues ya saben, pónganse listas porque nosotros regresamos. Estoy súper emocionado para la segunda temporada. Les prometo que va a estar mucho mejor que esta. Aparte de que como nos movimos de casa, voy a tener un set completamente nuevo. Entonces estoy súper emocionado para que vean eso. Muchísimas gracias, no saben lo agradecido que estoy. Las amo, muchas gracias por todo el amor, el apoyo. No puedo creer que voy a hacer esto una última vez. Ya saben, cualquier chismecito me hablan y me saludan a sus tías. ¡Mua! Bye. One more thing before we go, Mocosas. I do want to thank Eli Diamond, who is the guest of today's episode, for being so patient with me with putting this episode out. Like I said, this last month and a half have been absolutely crazy with moving and everything. So, but here it is. I really hope you guys enjoy this last episode of season 1 just as much as I enjoyed making it and doing this interview. And if there are any content creators or performers here in the Lubbock area that would be interested in being in Mocosas Anónimas, we can sit down, talk chismes, traumas familiares. Tell me your trauma, bitch. Tell me, come trauma dump, lo que ustedes quieran. Yo aquí estoy para escucharlos. Please send me a DM on Instagram or TikTok, and I would love to have you on the podcast and make some content, guys. So thank you guys so much for being here. I really hope you enjoy today's episode. Pues sí. I hope you guys enjoy, guys. Thanks. Hola, Mocosas, bienvenidas una vez más al podcast en el que hablamos chismes, traumas familiares y hasta de tus primas y tías, bitch. Yo soy su host, Alex Brayan, y esto es Mocosas Anónimas. You guys, welcome back to another episode. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys absolutely loved last week's video, and you guys really seem to love these interviews. So I am super excited for today's guest. He is an entertainer here in the West Texas area, and I've seen him all over social media, so I'm super excited. So please help me welcome Eli Diamond.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Tell me a little bit about basically yourself, guys. So I'm gonna hand it over to Eli, so like he kind of tell us a little bit about himself, who he is, what he does, and yeah, so that we can know all the chismes. So
Hi guys, Brian. I go by Brian. That's my name. My stage name is Eli Diamond. You can catch me at Club Luxor. I'm 22 years old. I'm a Taurus. My birthday is going to be next month, so I'm like really excited for that one. I'm from Dallas, Texas, originally from Dallas, Texas. My family lives in Plainview, so I grew up in the Plainview area with them. So
I want to start off by basically asking you, who is Eli, or you go by Brayan, right?
Yes, but a lot of people call me Eli outside.
Okay, so which one do you prefer?
I prefer Eli.
Eli? Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to start off by, who is Eli? You know, who was Eli growing up? Were you the shy kid? Were you the silver tooth kid? Were you kind of problematic? Were you like the troublemaker? Or who was Eli growing up?
I would say Eli was pretty much like growing up. He was like this outgoing kid, but also like this kid that was getting always bullied a lot in school.
Okay.
And I had trouble making friends, especially like guy friends. But like with the girls, it was always easy. And like everybody kind of like knew the stage that I was going through. Like, oh yeah, he's gonna come out. He's gonna be, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, me in my head, like I didn't know anything about that. I was very confused growing up through like middle school, and it started out with quinceañeras, because I used to do quinceañera performances for people. There was this one quinceañera that my friend was having, and we literally like, she asked me, she's like, hey, would you like to be part of my quinceañera? And I was like, yeah, let's do it.
So you were always involved in quinceañeras growing up and stuff like that? So that's funny, because so was I, you know. Growing up around the Mexican culture and stuff, like they always invite you to like go be in quinceañeras and stuff. So I definitely did a lot of those growing up too. So you talked a little bit about how like your sexuality, basically. You know, I talked on the podcast about bisexuality, my coming out story, and all of that stuff too. So a lot of that ties into, and that's why I kind of wanted to bring you on the podcast as well, to kind of share some of those experiences with you. So I do want to get into like your sexuality and all that stuff. So as a kid, you said that you grew up very confused. You know, you obviously didn't know what was going on and why it was easy for you to make friends with girls, but a little harder for you to make friends with guys. You said you experienced a little bit of bullying because of that too. When do you think it was like around the time that you felt like you came into terms with your sexuality?
It was within sophomore year.
Sophomore year high school?
Sophomore year was like, it was one of the years I was like, actually, I had guy group friends at that point, but it was like more of a small group. It wasn't a lot of us. But during that time, I started noticing like an affection for them, but more of like a love friendship, but also there's a few of them where I was like, yeah, like an attraction to them. And junior year, I think it was the time that I actually came out to my friends.
Junior year of high school? Okay.
I came out to my friends, like everybody already all knew, like they all came up to me, oh yeah, we were excited that you finally told us. I'm like, no manches, like,
Here you are,
you know, like you didn't know shit.
You knew you had that feeling growing up, but you always just wanted to kind of not hide it, but just kind of, you weren't into terms with it yourself yet, even though everybody else thought that they already knew, you just weren't there yet. So how was it with your parents and stuff? So where are your parents from?
My mom is from Houston, Texas. My dad is from Durango. Like, I don't really talk about my dad as much, just because like the background that we come from. So me and my mom are basically survivors of abuse. With him, it's like, I don't know, I think that's why I have like a whole lot of burden inside of me sometimes of holding things back and not telling people, or like keeping things on the down low, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So I don't know, it's just with him, it puts something on basically me, but also like that's why I always care so much on people as well. Like if people are wanting to come out, or like people are having trouble, like I'm always there to help them out, because like I don't want to be that one person that doesn't help them, but I also don't want them to feel like no one's helping them in need.
I mean, if you don't mind me asking, how was your childhood growing up? You know, you shared a little bit about you and your mom being victims of abuse. You growing up whenever you were a kid and they were together. How was that for you?
It was okay in the start. My dad was always there. He was loving us like he was always doing. The only thing like I could really remember was my mom always crying. My mom always working 2 jobs to provide us. And I never really understood it until like the only visualize that I can think of is when like he really attacked my mom. and like she even has like the scar in her lip, a scar in her forehead, and I think during that time I was 2 years old.
2 years old.
I was 2 years old.
You're 2 years old and still remember all of this stuff.
And literally the only thing I can remember is like trying to attack him, because like I knew, like, I don't know what he was doing, but I knew it was bad.
Like it was hurting.
Yeah. During that time, like he, threw me against the wall because I felt myself fly. But like, I don't know. I think it's because that's what like me and my mom always like struggled through, was never taking anything for granted, or like people like messing with us. Because like me myself, like I love people. I'm an outgoing person, but like as soon as you push my buttons or you're hurting my friends, like it's like that. Like
it's like that.
I can't do it.
So do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have a brother, a younger brother, and I have 2 sisters.
2 sisters. Are you the oldest?
I'm the oldest.
You're the oldest of all. Okay, so during this time, you said you remember this so vividly, being 2 years old, which is crazy for you to have those type of memories from 2 years old. And on, later on, your siblings came around, and was your dad still in the picture, or?
My dad was not in the picture. So it was around this time when he did all that. Me and my mom got out of that situation, and during that time he was trying to come back. But the thing is, like, when he was trying to come back, he was already threatening my mom.
Yeah.
And my mom's told me the stories of that he threatened her that if she couldn't have us, then no one can. So he was basically trying to murder us. It was me and my brother. That's both of our dads. He was 8 months old. He wasn't even 1 yet.
Oh, okay. So he was already.
Yeah. So like a lot of the times he'll make fun of it and be like, "Oh yeah, that's why your dad's in Mexico and this and that." But like he didn't understand like the full story of what me and my mom went through. But like now he knows, like every time he hears something from like our dad's side of the family, he'll be like, "Oh, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to talk to him and this and that."
You and your brother, y'all don't have a relationship with him anymore?
No, I stopped my relationship a long time ago.
With him?
There was one time we did go to Mexico. I did not want to see him. My aunts and them were there, and they were like, "Oh, we're throwing a cookout. We would love for y'all to come." And I was like, "I will go. I just don't want to see him." And this was when I was gonna be 15. And during that time, we went to the cookout. It was me and my brother, so we were like, "Okay, yeah, we'll go." Just don't want to see him because we knew he was there. Turns out he was there.
Yeah.
And it felt like it was planned, and it felt like they intended it for him to be there.
Do you think it was maybe his idea because he wanted to see you guys and like reconnect with y'all? Or?
I wouldn't say it was his idea. I would say it was more of the family's idea, because they knew we were in town and they knew that he was there as well.
Okay.
So like between me and my mom, their family never likes my mom because they think that she's put so much stuff in our heads that we don't know anything. But like during that time, it really showed like I have no trust for my dad's family, and I have no trust for like anybody outside of that. He tried to hug me, and I like pushed him back. I shook his hand, and I left. And I just remember crying, and I said, like yelling, I was like, "I told y'all I didn't want to see him. Y'all lied to me, todo." Like, it was just a mess.
Do you remember around what time it was that he finally left?
He left probably when I was already gonna turn 3. Because that's when he was trying to ram through the house with a vehicle. And the cops got there and they ended up deporting him back.
Yeah.
But there was one time I was like looking through my mom's stuff because I was just trying to find some papers, and I came across like these IDs of his, and they're like different IDs from different places with different names. And I explained this to my mom. I was like, "What are these?"
How old were you when you?
I was probably like 6, maybe 6, 7, yeah. And she told me that she didn't know about it until later on as herself, that he was part of like the America's Most Wanted. He was
Oh,
a
wow.
criminal. Like I didn't know anything of this, and I was just like, it tripped me out a lot.
Yeah.
But it would also like, it made sense because of what he'd done to us. So I'm like,
You kind of connected the dots.
yeah,
At 6 years old.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Do you feel like, obviously not having a father figure in the home, do you think that affected you in any way from like 6 years and on?
It affected me a little bit, but because like people were having like their dads show up for them, and like they already knew certain thingies to do as growing up, like with their facial beards, how to trim it and stuff like that. But with me, it's like I was okay, but I was also like sad about it because I couldn't learn that. I felt like a late bloomer learning shit like that. But I always had my mom, and she showed us how to be independent, how to work for yourself, how to be a better person than what our father is or than what we could be. And she showed me a lot. She was really my father figure growing up. She was like,
So mom was mom and dad. And
I would always call her mom and dad. Like sometimes we'll make fun of it because she'll be doing manly things, and I'll be like, "Oh, dad's at work. And she's like, "Nah, no manches." She's like, "I'm just trying." She's like, "Come help me with this." But it was all fun and games with it. But she was one of my role models that I look up to very, very much.
Your mom.
Yeah.
It's just the one that probably that inspires you the most and makes you a better person. So that's hard. That's crazy. I mean, thank you for sharing that. Obviously, I mean, we all have our own traumas and our own things that we dealt with. So you said that you grew up in, what was it, Plain? No,
I grew up in Plainview with them. Yeah. I was in Dallas because when my mom was growing up, she had ran away. She was a troublemaker, and to this day, she's still considered a troublemaker. So when she goes to the clubs, they already know her as La Traviesa, and I'm like, why? And they're like, because she always gets in trouble.
Was she very young when she had you? Yeah, how old was she?
She was pregnant with me when she was 18.
18.
And she had me at 19. We had lived in Oak Cliff.
Oh, okay.
So we had lived there for like a few. I don't remember like way back from there, but I remember when we went to go visit it, she showed me like the house and everything where we went.
Oh, okay.
So it was nice. Like the neighborhood, like it seemed very like Mexicans, and the inside was more prettier than what the outside was.
Is your mom fluent in Spanish?
She's very fluent in Spanish.
And then you said your dad was from Mexico, so he obviously was. Are you and your siblings fluent in Spanish at all? Or?
My brother and my younger sister is very kind of fluent in Spanish. The younger one is, but my brother is very fluent in Spanish.
Fluent?
Me, myself, I understand it. I can read it. I can write it. It's hard for me to talk it sometimes because like
conversation in Spanish.
Yeah, because I had to like figure out what the English words are into Spanish. And I'm like sitting there thinking, I'm like, give me a minute.
That's so crazy because I feel like a lot of people like that are bilingual. Some people it's like just so easily like naturally to switch back and forth. In my case, it's like I feel like I guess I struggle in both a little bit. So I can switch back and forth in a conversation if I'm just like talking and stuff, but there's certain things like in a professional setting, for example, like if it has to be like an interview completely in Spanish, I'm probably going to stutter a little bit. And same vice versa with English sometimes too. So okay, so you said that you were born in Dallas. All of this that happened with your parents, was this while you guys were living in Dallas and then you guys moved over here, or?
It happened when we moved over here.
When you moved over here, so he moved over here with you. Okay, and then you grew up in Plainview. You went to school. You said that you've always been kind of outgoing. Tell me a little bit about your relationships with friends and stuff. Having all this like trauma and stuff going on outside of school. Back home. Did that affect you into like making friends in school or anything?
No, it really didn't affect it as much because, like I said, like my mom's very independent and she showed us how to be independent and strong person. So I think growing up, I just mainly like pushed it behind me, and I held in all that pain for like several years. So me, like it's very hard to tell when I'm going through something because I always have a smile on my face.
You just know how to hide it. So.
And I think it's a good thing, and I also think it's a bad thing sometimes. Porque like, it's a good thing because you know everybody around you is happy, and you keep them happy, and that's what keeps you going. But the bad thing about it is like no one knows what's behind doors.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think it's oh, he's going happy life, you know, I wish I could do that. It's not all that. Because like there's some times where I won't even ask for help myself. And it's hard for me to ask for help, and I like a lot of people always tell me like you need to start asking for help, you need to ask them, like but I've always learned how to do it on my own or figure it out.
I mean, yeah, it's good to be independent, but I like they tell you, you know, it's always nice to ask for help too, you know. So that's good that your mom really taught you how to be so independent, so strong. I mean, obviously, unfortunate circumstances, you know, like with everything that happened, she was kind of pushed into just being a stronger for you guys, for you, your brother and your sister. So how was it for you growing up in Plainview? You know, I know that Plainview is very small. Going to school, I think there's 2 high schools there, right? Or 1?
I think it's just 1 now.
Just 1 now?
Yeah, they put all the schools in like 1 high school.
All in 1 big high school. So how was that for you? I mean, I know Plainview is kind of small, you know, growing up as a queer kid, which, I mean, we had hidden on the podcast before too. I don't know if you watched it, which, for my viewers, they know that they...
Yeah, that's when I found out that she was from Plainview, and I was like, I didn't know you were from Plainview, girl.
Yeah. So she was from Plainview too. So how was it for you, you know, growing up as a queer kid in a small town?
It was kind of like hard growing up as a gay person, because like there's not that many, like, but you can tell, like you can suspect like that one person, like, oh yeah, they're gay, but like there's some out there in Plainview that were like already out there and free and like doing whatever, you know. But like before I came out, it was more of, I was okay with it. Like, they're my friends. I'm not going to deal with it. I'm not going to tell them nothing, you know, because I'm not that kind of person to say something about it. But I think it was just more like everyone was more on the down low. They wanted to be out and free, but they didn't want to be out and free and embarrassed by everybody or like be judged.
Do you think it was because of the bullying? That's probably why?
I would say some bullying, yeah, because a lot of them would get picked on, including myself even before I was out. But they would bully me because of the way I acted. And I was, like I said, I was more freely. I would like little kooky around everywhere. And there was a lot of times where I would be like really girlish with everybody, like, I have hair too. Like,
kind of like your mannerisms and how you move around and stuff. Yeah. I mean, obviously I can definitely relate, you know, like I went to a small school too. So, and bullying it's everywhere too. So, so how were you in high school? Did you do any sports or anything?
No, I didn't really get into sports. I got into sports in middle school, and then after middle school, I didn't get into sports in high school.
So what kind of sports did you play in middle school?
Middle school, it was football, and I did hurdles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you're pretty athletic.
Yeah, I wanted to play basketball, but they told me that I was too short.
Too short.
Yeah, I was probably like 4'2" maybe at the time, and I was really, really, really short. And that was before like they didn't let short people in basketball.
Muy chiquito. We can't let her play basketball.
I was like, trust me, I can go underneath their legs.
So what year did you graduate high school?
2020. I barely graduated.
Yeah. So during COVID. So how was that for you guys? Like during COVID and everything, you know, we're going through this massive disease that's going on. It's basically like putting everybody on lockdown and everything's shutting down. And you being a graduate from 2020, how was that for you?
It was hard at times because we had to do like Zoom calls. There were certain situations where they would be like, oh, we don't know if y'all are gonna walk the stage, or we don't know if y'all are gonna do this. And I'm like, there's very like wishy-washy. Like we didn't know what was happening at the time.
There's a lot of uncertainty for sure.
And like a lot of the things we did get to miss out on, like we missed out on senior prom, we missed out senior ditch day, like at the senior stuff. And I was kind of like sad about it, but at the same time, like I'm glad I got to experience it during sophomore and junior year. And you know, during senior year, I did do a lot before COVID even happened. I was like, you know, I didn't do much freshman, sophomore, junior year. I wasn't that bad kid. And during senior year, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do whatever I need to do. to have fun, have a good year, and graduate.
Good last year.
Yeah. So I would like go with my friends. I would like, oh, we're gonna skip. And I was like, okay, I'm down. I'm down.
Let's go.
Yeah. So like I would do stuff like that with them. And
So did you guys have a graduation?
yeah, we ended up having a graduation.
Okay.
We had it on the football field. It was fun. It was also sad because, you know, we're not going to get to experience another graduation like that. Hopefully not. Like nobody experiences that. And like we would always like clown about it with everybody. Oh yeah, 2020 is the best class, where it's going to be the best year. Sure enough, it was memorable because it was COVID, but
unfortunately it was memorable, not for the good reasons, but it most certainly was. So how was it for your mom, you know, watching you graduate, get an education and everything, you know, knowing everything that you guys went through growing up and you being the oldest and first one to graduate?
She was very happy. My grandma was more excited during the time because they only let like 2 parents go. I asked my grandma and I asked my mom to go, and basically I was kind of excited because they were going to be there, and I was basically doing it for them. Because a lot of us in the family didn't get to graduate high school.
So how did that make you feel, you know, that big accomplishment and being able to share that with them?
It felt very nice because like I got to experience what school was like, and I got to experience it what they couldn't experience, you know. I think my mom was probably like the only one that graduated from high school. And during that time, like I knew I accomplished something, and I knew I can do it if I put my mind to it. Because there was a lot of times where I felt like I wasn't going to be able to. I wasn't going to be able to graduate because there's certain situations happening and stuff like that, but yeah, I did it, and I did it for them.
It's good. I mean, props to you. I know you made both of them very proud.
Yeah.
I know they were probably super happy for you. So a little bit about life after high school. Did you go to college, or did you think about going to college?
Yeah, I went to South Plains in Levelland. I went for a little bit because the reason why I was going for my family, which was my grandpa's decision. He wanted basically all the men to be like mechanics and like know how to do manly stuff basically. And like me, I know how to do certain thingies, but like that's not the career I wanted.
Right.
I went for collision repair, and I got to learn like a few things in there. But there was a time where I was having financial crisis and I was struggling with money.
Yeah, it happens.
And during that time, they were telling me, oh, well, if you can't get these materials, we were gonna have to drop you from the class. So when they told me that, I was trying my best to try to get the materials. The final day that because he gave me like a week or two, and the final day that it came and he asked for the materials, I told him I still didn't have it. And he said, if I don't have it by tomorrow, then for me not to show up.
To not show up.
And so within that day, I was like, I knew I wasn't going to be able to get it. So I called my mom. I was all crying on the phone. I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I can't get these materials. Like, they told me I can't go back and this and that. And literally that time I felt so disappointed in myself because I felt like I disappointed my family, because nobody has ever gone to college. When they do go to college, like my cousin's gone to college, but they don't finish it. So me trying to go to college and try to actually like finish something,
to give them that satisfaction.
Yeah, I wanted to be like at least the first one out of the family.
To go and finish it and everything. You said your grandpa was kind of the one that pushed you into going to college and choosing that career path. Were you close with your grandpa growing up, or?
No, not really. I was close with them a little bit, but they were more close to my brother than they were close to me, because my brother growing up, he ended up staying with them. So he stayed with them growing up, and he would never like want to go home when my mom would pick us up from work. And so my grandma told him, oh, just leave him. He'll be fine. So yeah, growing up, it was just...
You spent a lot of time with them, so...
Yeah. And it was just me as like the single kid in the household. Until my sisters came along.
So what's the age difference between you and your sister? What's the gap?
My sister Lupita, she just turned 15.
Oh, she's just from 15.
Yeah.
Did she have a quinceañera?
She wanted a quinceañera, but at the time, that's when she was like, I don't want a quinceañera no more. I just want a car.
Yeah.
And it was like, she didn't know what she wanted.
Yeah.
And it was like really confusing with her, because we would try to get her to be like, get the dress, get the stuff for the tables, and get the invitations. And then I think it was more of like, she was nervous on who was going to show up.
Oh.
But in Plainview, we have that Pete's Palladium. And where we told her, it was like, well, just put, your name on the billboard that they always have, and just let anybody show up, because either way, the quinceañeras, there's always invitations.
Yeah.
Pero sometimes everybody just shows up out of nowhere, and we're just like, who are you? I don't know who you are.
Loves a good baile.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's always going to be colados. I don't know if you know what that means, but
yeah.
So, no, I can only imagine. So was she stressed out about not a lot of people showing up or about a lot of people showing up?
I think she was more stressed out of the people that she wanted to show up, not show up.
Oh, okay.
And
well,
like,
that's understandable too.
Her growing up too, like she is more of like, not very body positive on herself. She is very more insecure on her body. So she was like very insecure about wearing the dress and how it's gonna make her look. And my little sister, I think she's like 12, 13 years old.
Okay.
And she doesn't want a quinceañera either.
No. So there's 4 of you.
Yeah, there's 4 of us.
Okay.
She wants a Sweet 16, but she wants a car.
Oh, so she wants both. She said, well, if my sister didn't want either, I want both.
She's like, I want both. And then my brother, he's always worked on cars himself growing up because he learned from my grandpa growing up. He didn't have like a quinceañero like the way I did because like I said, I had a quinceañero in Mexico.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, okay. And then we came back and I had another cookout party for my 15.
How was that like for you, like a quinceañero in Mexico?
It was fun. Like I didn't know like the bandas that they had and stuff that. The banda that they got us was El Porquis. That's what they were called. And I was like, who are these? Yeah. But like everybody else knew who they were. Like I guess they were very popular in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, oh, you got El Porquis, El Porquis. I was like, I don't know who these people are.
Everybody was all hyped and you knew who they were.
But that's when I got to like learn zapateado and huepa, and I was just like, I didn't know.
Oh, and that just kind of started it for you to like get involved with quinceañeras and stuff?
Yeah. Well, so I was in quinceañeras before that.
Before that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was, I think it was like 13, 14 when I was...
Whenever you started going to quinceañeras and stuff? Mm-hmm. And that was around here in Plainview, and then what made you decide how your quinceañero in Mexico?
We were going on a trip to visit family up there because it was the time where all of us were like kind of like at a good age to go to Mexico. Yeah. They usually go by themselves, which is my mom, my grandma, and my grandpa sometimes. That they will just go to Mexico.
So your mom has family in Mexico. So this is your mom's side of the family.
Yes. And we wanted to go see our family for the first time and meet all of them. So I got to meet like my cousins and my uncles that I had up there, and I was like, I didn't even know all y'all people. Yeah. And it was hard at that time because I didn't know Spanish that well. So it was literally a struggle for me trying to learn Spanish and trying to talk in Spanish to them. There was a few vendors that we went to, and me over here struggling like the no sabo kid.
And so would you say you're the no sabo in the family?
I would say I was definitely the no sabo kid in the family, but I knew what they were talking about every time they were talking Spanish. So. Yeah.
So you understand. You just it's a little harder for you to hold conversation in Spanish, especially in Mexico. You know, like I feel like my Spanish is good, but I feel like if I go to Mexico, then it's trash for them. You know, so
they're like, it's not proper.
Yeah, it's not proper. So is your mom speaks English, right? Yeah, fluently.
Yes.
And your 2 little sisters, you said that they both speak good Spanish, or
just the little one.
Just the
little one knows Spanish. I don't know how she picked it up. No one taught her nothing. She listens to mainly like the Spanish music my mom be playing on the radio, and her dad was in the picture for like a few years. He would always talk to her in Spanish. Oh, okay. So I think that's where she picked it up from, was just hearing the Spanish.
Yeah, and when your brother, he spent a lot of time with your grandparents, which
and my grandpa speaks fluent Spanish. He knows English, but he doesn't speak it because he tries to. Yeah. But he doesn't want to because he thinks it's hard trying to figure out English.
Trying to figure it out. And your grandma, she speaks English?
Yeah, she speaks English and Spanish.
Tell me a little bit more about these quinceañeras. You know, growing up, going to the quinceañeras and stuff. Do you know about how many you were in?
I think it was in like 3 or 4 of them. The 4th one was probably the last one I did because that was the time I was like figuring out myself. Okay. And I already knew I was like to a certain age where I'm like, they're not gonna want me for quinceañeras anymore. Like I'm almost like an adult already. Yeah. Like I started dancing since like I was 5, so I already knew what to do, and it was a lot during the quinceañeras. Like there was drama, there was back and forth, like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that, and I'm just like, it was very stressful.
Very stressful sometimes.
The drama that would happen in quinceañeras, it was between like usually quinceañera girl and the chambalans, or
and a lot of times there were probably a couple and they end up breaking up that night. So yeah, trust me, I was in a few of those too.
And I think it was so funny because I would just be sitting back just watching. I'm like, okay. I was like, why are you arguing?
So tell me a little bit about your dancing. You said that you started dancing when you were 5, and then obviously you got into quinceañeras and stuff. Did you ever dance for like a team or anything like that, or did you ever go to dancing classes?
No, I didn't take no dancing classes whatsoever.
I was kind of picked it up naturally and said, "This is for me."
My mom always told me, like, because I always asked her too growing up, I'm like, where did I like pick up learning how to dance and shit like that? And she's like, you're just self-taught, you already picked it up.
Yeah.
And she's like, I played music one day and you started dancing.
Dancing just natural.
Yeah. I think she has a video still somewhere in her phone where it's me just dancing silly.
Dancing. Oh, how
yeah.
Cool.
Like I remember that I had this bucket on my hat, on my head. I had a bucket on my head. I don't know what we were doing. I think my mom was cleaning, and I started hearing music and I just started dancing with the bucket on my head.
I love that.
So I was like, okay. And my mom started fucking filming me, and she was just like, she's like, mira. And she sent it to my grandma, and then they're like, where do you learn that from? And this and that. And she just started.
You just started dancing out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So dancing just kind of happened out of nowhere for you, and then they started inviting you to quinceañeras, and then you had a quinceañera of your own. Did you have a surprise dance, a baile sorpresa?
No, it was just me and my family.
Yeah.
Literally, like I used to watch like all the quinceañera videos and like the ones on TV of like My Sweet 16 and stuff like that.
Was it always something you wanted, or was it something that your family kind of was like, let's celebrate your...
It's something I kind of wanted,
yeah.
Which because I like I said, I always grew up just watching like movies and stuff like that, to the point where it was like they had dancing in it.
Yeah.
And I want that, and I was like, I want a group that can like do backflips and this and that.
Yeah.
Like I think that would be so cool. And like I think it's because like I picture everything in life as a movie.
Okay.
So everything like I see of dancing and like a whole team dancing as well, I'm like, dang, if I was on that stage, that would be a badass movie that's just been made right there. So like literally that was my whole like dancing career right there, just for me.
Just so you picked up a lot of your dance moves from like watching movies and TVs.
I used to watch Step Up.
Honey. I love those movies. Yeah,
and then the fucking, what's it called? The cheer movies.
Oh my goch, Bring It On.
Yeah, Bring It On. There you go.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I used to watch a lot of those
religiously.
Like a lot of those the main ones I used to watch. A lot of the musicals as well.
Okay. What's your favorite musical?
My favorite musical, West Side Story.
West Side Story.
Because I think I like the way they had it, because it gives you a flashback of what back then what it used to be, but it also the drama between like kind of considered like Romeo and Juliet.
Okay.
But it's all Mexican style, so that's why I'm like, oh.
So I mean, obviously you dancing, and we're actually starting to get into like you being an entertainer and stuff. I do want to ask you about how all of that started for you. You know, you're from Plainview, and then you moved to Lubbock. Around what time was it that you moved to Lubbock?
I was 18.
18. So right after high school.
Yeah, right after high school, because I told my mom, because I told my mom, I was like, I'm moving when I'm 18, and she always doubted me, because she would always say like, oh, you're not gonna move, and if once you move, you're gonna come back. No, it's never came back.
Said you won't.
I was like, I'll prove you wrong. Like I swear I want to move. Like that's my time. Like I want to be free.
So you moved here peak COVID then, like during the pandemic, to Lubbock.
Yeah, I was working for the Walmart distribution, and I had my transfer to Sam's Club. So I was driving back and forth from Sam's to Plainview. So every time I would get out, I would drive back to Plainview and then come in the daytime. But during that time, I was looking for apartments as well, and I really wanted to get my own place. So I found the apartments that are called the Ranch now, but it was called
the Ranch. Yeah, it's called something else. Yeah,
I didn't know how they were gonna do it, because I wanted just one bedroom, but they put me in a 4-bedroom.
Oh wow!
And it was with roommates. So I was like, okay, this is kind of like a little bit like college, you know. They're like, oh, do you want to take this, like little survey so we can match you up with, the right people that fit your style? Well, come to find out, I didn't know that they were actually going to match me with people that I actually got along with.
Yeah.
And I got along with the roommates that I had. They're all musicians. They all played music and stuff like that. I was very much into like music a lot too.
Yeah. Do you play any instruments?
The guitar was the only thing I tried learning. I'm not good at it. I was like, that's the career I won't take down. But like I matched up with them, and then I found out like all my roommates were like all in the community as well. So that was a cool thing to find out.
That was nice because I mean, you moving to Lubbock by yourself and then kind of finding a group of friends. I mean, I know that can be very hard for a lot of people. Just move to a new city, which it's not that far from Plainview from Lubbock, but it's still somewhere new, somewhere bigger.
Yeah.
You're moving here by yourself, so I bet that was very, very comforting for you to find a little community within your roommates.
Yeah.
So.
And it was very scary because like the first night sleeping, I felt like I couldn't sleep because like it's not because like I was in a different area. It was more of like I was far from home already.
Yeah.
Like, and I knew it was only a 45-minute drive, but like it's very weird knowing the fact that your siblings are not around. Yeah. Your mom's not next door.
You can't just walk out of that door and like see your siblings.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So like it was very awkward coming out the door and seeing my roommates, and I was like, hi. I was like, oh,
how's it going?
hi. How's it going?
Are you still friends with them now?
Yeah, I am friends with them on Snapchat. They're in their own little band, so that's cool that they're doing that. I think one is in California, and the other one is in San Diego. I keep contact with them every now and then. So
that's good. I mean, they've obviously moved on. They moved away, and were they students here too?
Yeah, they were students at the Lubbock.
And they moved away. How did you being a night entertainer kind of start for you? You moved to Lubbock. You were 18. You obviously knew that you loved dancing and all that stuff. So how did you start there?
It's when I had met it's when I got in a relationship and I met one of the roommates that knew the drag queen.
Okay.
They knew Red.
Okay.
And I was very much like, oh, I want to go see a drag show. Like that seems like so much fun.
You had never gone to a drag show before?
I've never gone to a drag show, never gone to a gay club, no nothing. And they were like, oh yeah, it's gonna be fun. There's sometimes like, there's guys on poles and stuff. Like I was like, getting all excited. I was like, and so we went, and that was the first time I ever experienced the drag show, and I was like, oh, so it's just dancing. But then I just and then I looked at them, and then I was like, oh, they're lip syncing as well. I was like, so I was like, this is like TikTok live. I was just like, okay.
It's like the videos I watch on TikTok, but in real life. That's a funny way to put it, but I mean, I guess but it's they're entertainers. So
the first one I saw was Red, and then they were posting a flyer competition to perform with Metamorphosis.
Oh. Okay.
And I didn't know who Metamorphosis was. I don't know anything. I didn't know
Drag Race or anything.
I didn't watch any of that. So I was like, I don't know what Drag Race is. I don't know what a RuPaul girl is. I just knew that I wanted to go do it just to like take a risk and dance out there and show people. And I took that risk. I won that night, so I got to.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah.
That was like. Basically, like, that would be my first talent win right there.
Wow, yeah.
And I got to perform the following Saturday with Metamorphosis and them. And then my drag mother came into the picture.
So how was that like? Did she just like walk up to you and say, hey, I want to adopt you, or?
She texted me, actually. She texted me, and she always brings this up, and she's like, I never texted you. You texted me first. I'm like, girl, I got the receipts. I will show you. She texted me, and she was like, hey, I saw your performance. And like, I was like, I don't know how she saw it, because I didn't record it, I didn't post it, no nothing. So I'm guessing
must have been on somebody's Snapchat or something. So
and she saw it, and she's like, I would love to take you under my wings and this and that. And I didn't know what a drag family was.
Right.
I didn't know what a drag mother was. No nothing, no house. And I was like, you know what? I was like, yeah, that sounds fun. Like, someone helping me out.
So whenever you went to this talent show, like you did everything by yourself? You put your costume together, your routine together and everything?
It was pink checkerboard pants and then a mesh shirt. And then I had the relationship I'm in now, I had his sister do my makeup.
Oh, okay.
She did my eyeshadow and everything, and I still remember it to the day. It was like I really had fun with it because I was like, this is something I would love to do, performing on stage for people. And I performed to Hallucinate by Dua Lipa, and that was literally like the first song that I ever did. And they like backstage they told me that I did good, and they also like gave me criticism like on certain things I need to do. But like when I took the criticism, it's more like I didn't know what they were talking about because I didn't know I was gonna keep doing this for a long time. It was really, really helpful, and I really appreciate it. And like Club Lexer has always been the place for me to go, and it's always been like the special home for me because I got to meet my friends there. I got to meet my family. Like I didn't make friends in high school, but I made friends outwards. So
an entire community here that supports you and loves you. So
and like literally, I just had the time of my life doing it. So
okay, so tell me a little bit more about how your experience was meeting your drag mom and becoming part of a drag family and all of that stuff. You said that she messaged you 1st.
She's gonna text me later. She's like, I didn't text you nothing.
So she messaged you first because she obviously saw your potential. She saw you performing stuff, which by the way, if somebody has a video and they send it to you, like I would love to see it, by the way.
I actually have the video still.
Okay, you have to send it to me, and if you want, we can post it on there as well. So,
I got you.
So they can see what we're talking about. So you said your drag mother texted you first, and then you guys just started talking from there. And then how was that like, you becoming part of a drag family now?
It was really interesting and fun. I learned a lot from them, learned how to do my makeup because I didn't know I was actually going to get into makeup. And I got to learn that there's things called houses, which is a drag house, drag siblings as well. Like I got to learn like, oh, these are going to be my siblings. I'm like, okay, that's cool, and I thought
part of that's within that same house.
And at the same time, in my head, I thought we were like kind of like role playing, I guess. Okay. And I was like, okay, we're playing house. I used to do this in kindergarten, playing the mom and wife.
Yeah.
So like, I think it was just funny thinking about it. And I got to meet my drag siblings, which was a drag king and a drag queen. My drag mom is Vanessa.
Vanessa, yes, yeah, I do know her.
She literally taught me a lot. She kind of reminds me of my mom as well.
Yeah.
Like my actual mom, she reminds me of that as very, very much because she'll get on to me a lot about certain things. She'll also teach me like a lot of other things that she used to do that I could do.
I've seen her perform. She's pretty good.
And she,
yeah. So Vanessa, if you're watching,
she knows. She's like, I always be clowning on her anyhow.
Yeah. I've seen her perform a few times, yes.
Yeah, so now like growing up within the drag house, like we had a few of the drag family leave and we had a new drag family come in as well. So I think it's really interesting to see like how people turn out in drag because they either step up their career further or they just keep working as hard enough to get their career going there. It took me a time to get my name out there. I think the time I got my name out there was the Queen of the Ring at Club Luxor. They literally host a lot of the seasons for it and they have like separate themes for different weeks. And I literally
kind of like their own version of Drag Race kind of thing. Yeah, I remember. I think Hayden talked a little bit about that too on her episode. So
I didn't win it, even though I should. No, I'm just kidding. I literally think that I made my mark during that time.
During that time,
because a lot of people got to know me. A lot of people know who I am now on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah.
And a lot of people throughout the industry of drag, I call it like the industry. I don't know how everybody else calls it, but like a lot of people out in the cities, which is like Austin and stuff. Like I know a lot of them too.
Okay. Yeah. So have you had any bookings outside of Lubbock or?
Yeah, I was booked in New Mexico.
Okay.
There was Amarillo, Odessa. We got to go to Austin. The biggest one that I got to do, but it wasn't my pageant. It was my mom's pageant. We got to go to Minnesota.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I felt like that was seeing Minnesota. It was like this is something I really, really want to do, and I think I actually found my place where I can do it. And I never knew that drag could be like that. Like drag could be a stepping stone.
Do you do performances like as a drag king or as a drag queen or
male entertainer? So so there's like different several categories, but I'm considered as a male entertainer.
Male entertainer, okay.
It's kind of different from a drag king.
Yeah.
I like to think of it as a drag king sometimes because we have a lot of the similarities.
Yeah.
But
so what is something that makes it different from being a male entertainer or a drag king?
A drag king is, I would say like kind of like the women being into male.
Being into a male
And I feel like male entertainer is more like a full male trying to be kind of like a stripper, kind of. I'll put it like that, like as a stripper, but also like embodying. I can't even speak.
Embodying.
The like male persona of what a male is. And I think it's really, really interesting and fun because you get to meet other male entertainers and you get to see like the way they dance or like the way they interpret it. Like the way I would interpret my dance, I put my dance more into like storytelling and out of the box.
What would you say is your favorite performance that you've done so far?
My favorite performance, the SpongeBob. That was during Queen of the Ring.
Queen of the Ring?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my favorite performance during the SpongeBob because like that was something I actually didn't want to do.
I did see pictures actually. And I think I saw those pictures before I even knew who you were. To be like I think Vanessa was the one that posted them or something.
The SpongeBob number was one of the most like one of the ones that I didn't want to do because I didn't really have a thought in mind for a theme, but I had the outfits for it. So I was like, okay. I was like, you know what? Let's just do SpongeBob. I'm already running out of time. So I put on my mix like the last day. I threw my whole mix the very last day. And Vanessa was helping me do my makeup and everything during that time. And I didn't know how it was gonna go or anything. I thought it was just gonna be like, dang, like I messed up, like this ain't good. And sure enough, like had my 2 dancers behind me and everything, and we just threw down. We had bubbles everywhere going through the stage. But we just made the scene like really work for the SpongeBob number.
I love that.
And every now and then you'll hear people like come up to me and be like, "Oh my gosh,
you're
like,
SpongeBob."
Yeah, they're like, when are you gonna do it again? I really loved you in your SpongeBob number. I love your SpongeBob number. I'm like, dang, they know me as a SpongeBob kid now.
Now they know you as the SpongeBob performer at Club Luxor.
And I feel like that's what like suits me the most on my personality is very much SpongeBob.
Very much SpongeBob.
It's very just
I love SpongeBob
out there.
Up. Yes.
He's just doing the most and never stops. So.
You said that your favorite performance was obviously the SpongeBob one, and you said that you perform at Luxor. Do you perform like regularly or?
I do perform regularly. Well, ever since Queen of the Ring, I became a cast member. It's really fun and interesting to see. I think my favorite moment, sometimes too, is the Mr. from another or Mrs. from another Mister. Is when they put someone in drag that's never been in drag.
Oh, I love that. That's cool.
And I think it's very interesting, especially like in the male entertainer and drag king community, if they put their shoes into drag queen shoes.
Oh yeah.
And it's really, you get to know a lot of what they do and a lot of like what they put into it, the tucking, the way, the hair and everything. Like it's crazy. Me, I've never like danced in heels. The first time cause I've done it twice already. The first time I was walking like this manly dude in heels and I couldn't walk right. So they were like, oh, you need to walk like on your tippy toes,
tippy toes and
very feminine. Yes. Yeah, like you're a lady. I'm like, I'm not a lady though. The second time around when I did it, it was very fun because I actually felt like I redeemed myself on doing it. So I think more throughout the years, I've been walking through getting into like my feminine side. And less than my masculine side. Okay. But it's more interesting to be both because you can put both into one. You just need to actually put in the work to do it. So
have you done numbers where you're like, for say, in heels as a male performer?
In heels, no, but in boots, like high boots, yes. Okay. Do I want to perform in heels as a male? Yes, because I want to see how that would work. How that would work, yeah. But I also don't want to bust my ass.
So how was you seeing yourself for the first time in drag whenever you did that Mrs. from another Mister, you said, right?
I felt like it's in like another alter ego that awakened.
Just unlocked.
Yeah, but it's also like, it's crazy to see because I also see like, I feel like I'm looking at my mom. Oh, okay. And I feel like I'm just like, oh, like, so I do I do look like her because a lot of times it would be like, oh, he looks like you, he looks very much like you. So I'm just like, damn. It's like,
So let me embrace it. Let me show you.
yeah. And then if you put me next to Vanessa, me and her look alike too. So
she's your drag mother, so
Yeah.
she's got she's influenced your drag and everything. So
they're like, oh, here comes little Miss Vanessa. I'm like,
mini Vanessa.
it was just so funny. And I'm just like,
So they know you as the SpongeBob number and as a mini Vanessa in Club Luxor.
they also know me for my crazy stuff that I be bringing out there. So
Yeah. Well, I haven't had a chance to see you perform. I mean, I would love to come watch you perform one day. So I'll definitely make sure to go one of these days.
Yes.
So whenever you're performing. So like I said, I've seen your drag mother perform, and you said you have drag siblings. So who are they? Or tell me a little bit about them.
I have Amora. Chaos. I think that's how she says it. I always get confused on how she says her name. She's just starting out. I think she can actually put potential into her drag. She very kind of reminds me of myself when I first started drag, like wanting to do everything or wanting to learn everything. But she's also moving a little fast. It's something that I feel like she needs to like kind of like slow down a little bit. But I feel like she can make it work. Like her drag it could go somewhere.
You said her name was
Samora Chaos.
Samora Chaos.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, a more of chaos.
More of chaos, yeah.
And I'm just like,
girl, that's already a real girl name. What do you mean? You're gonna make it, girl. You're gonna make it. You got this. So you also circling back around to where whenever you said that you guys did a pageant for Vanessa and you guys went to Minnesota, right? Yeah. So what was that like that experience for you guys? I don't really know a lot about pageants and stuff. Like I know about drag, of course. Like I watch draggers and everything, and I've seen drag shows before. But as far as like the pageant community. Like I'm like I don't know.
It was very interesting because like that's one of the bigger pageants. It was for Miss Goddesses, America Goddesses. Oh, I already know Vanessa's gonna come at me. It was more fun just to watch them because I got to see the male entertainers that were competing in it. They're known as
there's male entertainers that compete in pageants as well.
Yeah, they're known as gents.
Okay.
And I got to see like the formal wear that they do. They do interview. Nobody gets to see that. It's only the judges, and you get to see like the presentations that they do. Like every single person's presentation, it really, really comes out nice. But you also get to experience like how much money they put into their work.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Because they go all out. Like they're diamond out all the way down. They have these clothing on that is like very fashionable that you would not see in like the Paris fashion or anything.
Oh wow, yeah.
So like I feel like drag is more of like our fashion but coming to life.
Yes.
That you would never be able to see in anywhere else. And I think that's really amazing to see because a lot of them tell their stories with their looks.
Yes.
And a lot of them tell their stories within their talents. And you get to know a lot about them through their drag forms as well because you get to see the experience that you can see through their dance. You could tell like that person's been doing drag for a lot. You could tell that person's barely doing drag.
Yeah. So you being around that environment and everything, did that maybe inspire you into maybe doing a pageant one day as a gent?
Well, I'm getting ready for Texas USFA.
Oh, that's exciting! Yeah.
And that's one of the major like big pageants. I like to say.
That's exciting! Congratulations.
Thank you. It really is nerve-wracking though a little bit because like it's a big pageant. When that's a small pageant when it's like in the bar or something.
Okay.
It's what we call bar pageants.
Okay.
I still like those pageants because those are still giving you a look into what a real pageant would be. But the bigger pageants, it's more like professional. You went from low income to high income, basically.
Okay, yeah.
So that's how I would put it. But it's very expensive. You also have to like think about your traveling, your transport.
Right. So with it being so expensive and everything, at night we can obviously see you at Club Luxor performing and doing your thing. What does Eli do for your day to day? Like, what do you do for a living?
I'm a manager for Taco Bell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I work at Taco Bell as a manager.
So I mean, with it being so expensive, like how would you say you budget yourself for your performances and obviously for bills and everything?
The budget for like performances, I would say it's like very kind of like crafty. Just like think of anything creative and get to like Hobby Lobby, Amazon, something that's not too expensive, something under $50 or $20. Getting ready for a pageant, that's more of like, you need to think high end. Your suit needs to be like probably like $500, and you still need to get rhinestones, which is probably going to be like another $500. And it's just like, it's more expensive on that end. Like they want you to look good,
clean, polished, always, yes.
But it's because you're representing them. They don't. It's like it's the way Vanessa tells me. You're interviewing yourself to represent them, and if you don't interview yourself well, then they're not gonna pick you to represent them.
That's good advice.
It's kind of like a job application, and I think that's what's really, really crazy, that you're basically applying to be the next big thing, basically.
The next big thing.
And I would never have thought that you would consider it as like a job like that.
So what would you say are some of the incentives of like winning a pageant, for example? What are some of the perks?
Winning the pageant, you get travel, you get bookings at different bars, different places. You get to be well known as, say for instance, as the Mr. Texas US of A.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's just
really getting your name out there as an entertainer.
Really getting your name out there, because a lot of the male entertainers that I've grew around, they're all known to tell or say, that they don't feel seen, or like even myself, I felt like I wasn't being seen at once. And it's just like, as soon as you get your name out there, you feel like you made it. Yeah. But you also just want to keep going, you don't
and growing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very exciting. You said Mr. US of A, is that the one that you're getting ready for?
Yeah, Texas US of A.
Well, that's really exciting. We're kind of getting close to the end of the episode, so I do want to leave you with a few more questions. So what would you say, maybe give somebody an advice for somebody that maybe wants to become an entertainer, or wants to start doing drag, or just wants to just get their name out there for something that they love, like you love dancing and entertaining?
I would say just don't be afraid. If this is something you really want to do, just go for it. There's people in the community that's out there that's willing to help you. I'm willing to help you. If you're struggling, thinking that you can't do it, this is not gonna work out for you because you're insecure about something, that's okay. But it's also, you can try to go out there knowing the fact that you did it and you accomplished it. Because I was scared in the very beginning, but as soon as I stepped out on stage, I knew like,
this is what I want to do.
Yeah, this is what I want to do. And I didn't know how it was gonna go further. I didn't think it was gonna go further,
but you did, so good job.
Yeah, the community actually helped me out, so I really appreciate the community that's been there for me. But there's always gonna be somebody around you to help you out within drag.
Oh, I love that. That's good advice. So I just want to say great job for, everything you're doing. Obviously I do want to thank you for kind of sharing a little bit of your background. I know you had a pretty hard background, kind of growing up and stuff. Thank you for sharing a little bit about that, sharing a little bit about you growing up, without a father figure, kind of talking a little bit about that, how that kind of affected you in any kind of way. Also, I want to give you props for, moving at 18, and like doing all the things that you're doing. So you're doing amazing. I do want to leave you with one more question, I guess 1 and 2. Where do you see Eli Diamond in 5 or 10 years, professionally and personally?
I also see Eli Diamond actually being out there, helping other people that are trying to be out there as well. I see him as very much more professional, because I would say like I'm professional now, but I'm like very, very properly professional. I don't know. I feel like Eli Diamond is somebody that would actually like make it out there.
Yeah, you're gonna make it. You're gonna get out there. So obviously, social media helps a lot too. So like I mentioned at the beginning of the interview, I came across your TikTok, and I kind of seen like some of your, like, you getting ready, your makeup videos and stuff like that. Some of your lip syncs that you've done on there too. I don't know if you've posted some of your performances on TikTok as well.
I literally just post my dancing videos on there. It's just it's not the dancing inside the club because of the stuff I wear, but I will post my dancing videos on there.
Okay, well, there you have it, guys. If you guys want to go follow Eli Diamond or find out anything else about him, actually not if you want to, go and follow him. I'm gonna drop all of his links down below at the description of this video, so you guys can go and follow him and find out more about him. And if you're ever in the Lubbock area, definitely make sure to check out Club Luxor, which is where he performs, where he's set up cast member. That's what you guys call it,
Yes.
right? Okay, where he's a cast member. So definitely check it out, you guys. And again, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I had a great time getting to know you. You know, and finally meeting you because this is the first time we've met, by the way. Like I said, I know you're drag mom, but I've never actually met you. So it's been very nice meeting you and kind of learning a little bit more about you. And I can't wait to go watch you perform. So one day we'll be out there for sure. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say?
Bye, putas.
Well, there you have it, guys. Muchas gracias por estar aquí, mocosas. Ya saben, cualquier chismecito me hablan y me saludan a sus tías. Bye, you guys.